for a period of 10 minutes, with a warning bell at 8, on the topic, It's Not What You Think. Please welcome Gayle Goldberg.
I was homeless when my rental home sold, and I had no idea of the adventures that were about to unfold. Yes, I spent a year without a fixed abode, no home, no certainty. Some would call it a year of challenge, but for me, I call it a year of flourishing, flexibility, and freedom. While others around me panicked, I saw life as a way of teaching you a lesson. What I observed is people assume, make a judgment, and project their own thoughts on the situation. But here's the lesson. It's not what you think. When my rental home of 6 years sold within a week, my safe abode, filled with memories of fun, entertainment, home-cooked meals with family and friends. I had no idea of where my life was going to lead. There were 2 takeover rentals on the table. And in the renting world, that's a pretty much done deal. As you all know, the rental market in Perth has been horrendous. But both of those fell through 5 days before the removalists were due to arrive. My friends panicked for me. What will you do? Where will you go? You can't be out the rental market. But I wasn't about to be living in a car. I had a plan. I had a roof over my head. A friend had offered me 2 rooms to rent, one for myself and one for my business. And with that came freedom that I had no idea of what adventures would unfold. I realized I had a window of opportunity. Why not go to America for 3 months and live with my brother and my mum? My mum has been in America for over 30 years. This would be my first ever trip. So, if I was going to, I had to make a big announcement. I got a cheeky cat card with the headlines, "Something big is coming," and sent it as a Christmas gift. My brother played Secret Santa brilliantly, wrapping it in paper and boxes and making the most exciting Christmas gift. My mum, at 87, tugged and pulled at this Christmas gift, excited with joy. Finally, when she got to the card, she opened it and she read it out loud. Her voice trembled. The room went quiet. Tears filled her eyes as the realization that her daughter would be coming to stay with her for 3 whole months. It's not what you think. This was so special. Although I'd seen my mum over the years, I had not lived with her since I was 10 years old. As the days of my departure got closer, chaos hit the world. Donald Trump and his crackdown on immigration dominated the news. My friends were phoning me in panic, freaking me out. When my travel agent called me about another Australian deported, I was done. I nearly cancelled my trip. But when I got to America, it was a different reality. The Immigration Border Control officer was far more interested in kangaroos and koalas. Well, there was no laptop raids, there was no iPhone searching, and no interrogation. Australian wildlife. And here is the reality. Fear sells the news. It's not what you think. A trip that I remember in America was a trip to Nashville, famous for country music, cowboy boots, and southern charm. A rodeo and country music coming together under one roof, an indoor stadium. This was the first time in American history, and I was there, living it, breathing it. This was not Hollywood. There were no stunts. This was real, this was raw. Bulls bucking furiously, men clinging on for dear life, men jumping off horseback and wrestling cattle, rolling in the dirt. It was wild. It was unforgettable. And then later that evening, the lights dimmed and the crowd erupted as a famous country singer took the stage, and the music pulsed through me. It was pure magic. And life can be a bit like a rodeo. Unexpected, pretty raw, and pretty brutal. Not what you think. But if you hang on for dear life and you fight through, you'll be amazed at the challenges that you can get yourself through, whether it's a health, whether it's life challenges of job. One evening, when I was sitting, just got up after reading a book, I opened my book, and next minute I was jolted into panic. My iPhone was beeping. The screen was flashing. Tornado, warning. Naturally, I didn't know what to do. First instinct was to yell, "Mom!" My mom, with tornado experience, came and said, "Gayle, it's not what you think. We'll sit in the passageway and we'll wait it out. We'll listen to the local radio and see where it's headed." So that's what we did. Initially, my mom said it can sound like a tornado coming. It will sound deadly silent, and then it will sound like a freight train. Probably that's when you panic. And life can be like a tornado sometimes. Like when I went through my divorce. It was scary. It was unknown. It affected many people in my life, my family, my friends. And when we lost our family home, I didn't know where to start, how to rebuild, and where to go. And thankfully, I do have friends that helped me through. And now, when I got back to Perth, my home awaited me. It was an exciting time when I got my keys. It felt so good. And often when we go through life, we can reflect on many things. And one thing I do in that year of running amok, some people would call it, and the place that I consider to be really my safe haven is a home, to have that stability. And so often, some of us are not in that place. And now I'm in my home. I'm a 10-minute walk to Claremont, to the river, to the cafes. I've got back to the fullness of life, family, friends, hobbies, and work. I've been in the back garden and planted my herbs, as I do enjoy cooking, and just so enjoyable to see the flowers and the herbs growing. And there's many times where I've been in that year of what I call growth, because that's where you get really challenged in life. And I reflect on it with aspiration. And I can feel that during that time, I can also share those memories with other people going through a hard time. And one thing I do reflect on is, now that I'm in my home, there's no safe place like home, is a thing that Winnie the Pooh said: life is a journey to be experienced. not a problem to be solved. And so many times in that period when things were pretty tough for me, everybody was trying to find a solution, which they couldn't do, and did not realize that support and encouragement were much better. So I encourage you, before you speak and make a judgment, pause, as it's not what you think.